We started this a year and like 8 months ago. It was a long time we've been doing this. Talking to Andy about that the other day, it was crazy because just seeing like all the steps he went through and then me being able to go through those are it's a really nice thing to have someone like that I can talk to because he's so, he's so knowledgeable. He has crazy wisdom. That's actually something that's really funny is before I even got to design this shape, we were talking about like if I could have a pro board, me and Andy, and what I would do and what I'd put into it and what different, old school boards would be all kind of accumulated together. And I think that without him being so supportive and so understanding, I wouldn't be able to have gotten to where I was, even with the shape in general, because he was just like, no, that'd be sick. Whenever I would say something like, I don't know if people would like that, or he'd be like, no, just do it. Like, do what you want to do. That'd be super sick. And yeah, I mean, we can kind of show it a little bit. So basically, the board started out as the Steve size board, right? Because I really, really like that deck. It's a great shape. It feels amazing. And so the mold, the idea started as that. I took the tail, it was fish, and I cut little grooves into it because Andy showed me actually at YMCA skate camp, like, check out these little grooves in his new board, how they help with pressure flips and impossibles. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's so smart because the fishtail was, I love the fishtail, but it would kind of stop certain tricks like tray flips, pressure flips, and impossibles from getting that little edge where it would kind of lift up that back wheel. That was like number one, was Steve size shape with those, right? And it was just like, all right, that's perfect. So then the question was, where do we go with the top half? The top half originally started as a really small nub top. It was like literally cut down to here.
Yeah.
And then I realized the weight of it wasn't symmetrical. It was off balance. It would feel a little different. And so then there became the point of like trying to find a balance between the nose and the tail. It wouldn't change, like this wouldn't be heavier or this wouldn't be heavier. Although there's a lot of width here.
Yeah.
It looks like it gets small here because it does, like, so there's a lot of width here and it gets small here. And then you're like, oh, that's really big up there. Because this is huge and this is huge, it actually equally distributes it. So it's pretty balanced right in the center, which is super nice. And that was like why the nose had to get a little bigger. We had to basically balance it out. And so that's why the nose started getting bigger, because we were like, all right, what's the little, point of where the balance is like in the center. The exact point of like where the balance was with the nose had to be 5.5 inches, which is a perfect amount for each side. And then it was originally a hawk medallion, the way it carved in, and it was squared at the top. So you could see it a lot more, the original shape. And then I was like, because even originally, I have actually a photo, and I have the old board in my house of, I wanted a really pointed nose. It was nuts. I mean, it was like crazy. And I was like, okay, well, that's a little too pointed, but it was kind of gnarly. And so we had to kind of switch that a little bit. So we went to square. And then eventually, maybe like a year later, I was just so content and focused on the fact that I really wanted my board to have some kind of coffin point at the top. So we were able to kind of figure out how to change that square nose into like more pointed. And so it was a lot more medallion top with sharper edges at the top, and they're very pointed. And then I was like, oh, that's perfect. Like the shapes, that's exactly what I want. And then I got an email from George saying that he was worried about the points because they could possibly chip away and kind of mold into like a circular motion, because he really, really cares about the product's quality
And lasting.
the lasting quality of the skateboard, not just, the way it looks. He wants it to really, really last the average consumer. And I like to skate my boards for a really long time. So it was super easy to kind of see how long that would take before the board started to kind of transform into another shape, because that's what they kind of do. They start circling out.
Yeah.
If they're too pointed like that. And we wanted that to work out really well and to transition really well without it being too chipped or too this or that. And so we decided to make the edges of the points a little more round, which in turn expanded the nose by maybe that much on each side, which was actually a really good thing, because doing nose slides and nose blunts now feels really comfortable because you have all this space on the top.
To actually lock on.
Foot, and it's really nice because their first one was cut like here, right? And it was looked really cool and it felt good, but once we made this more round, it not only looked beautiful to me, but feels beautiful to me. And I think that that kind of, you know, turns out really well. And I think that it feels just so good when you're skating it. I love this shape so much, man. It really came out exactly how I wanted it. All right, let's put this guy here, right above the bolt, so we got a little line. So it's the K26 concave. It's the new one from Powell, and you can really see it when you look at it like that. And this is what I'm really excited about. I've been wanting to kind of share how this graphic came about for a while now, and kind of talk about the different things that went into it and the process and how cool it was working with Court. My first thought that I've had for a while, for a really long time, is a Jack in the Box, because I really like you know, clown looking things, and I thought that it was such a cool concept is to make a board that has something to do with, you know, not just a typical element of like, oh, I think this looks cool. It's like I wanted it to kind of mean something pooper. I was, you know, going back and forth with Court, and he sent me probably in total maybe like 70 to 80 different drawings. I mean, I have so many incredible drawings by Court. It's like insane to even think about. We're talking about it for a while, and he's really able to kind of make something come to life out of just you kind of explaining what you're looking for and who you are as a person. And we were doing the graphic, and what kind of is really wild about it is it was like almost there what I was looking for, but it's really hard to kind of fully take what's in someone's mind and transfer it to another person's mind.
Yeah.
And make it. Yeah. Right. Yeah. And so we're kind of like, we're getting closer and closer, and there's so many different drawings and so many different things. But he actually had a heart attack. That actually comes into the graphic. He was drawing my graphic. He had the heart attack, and he was on a little machine that like pumps heart, kind of like electric shocks.
Yeah.
And he was still drawing the graphic, and we figured out what we wanted. I wanted it to be a box, and me as a skeleton kind of coming out of the box, very clown-like, very, you know, instead of being defined into one little square and being shut in this box, you know, I wanted it to represent coming out of the box and feeling like, okay, this is like who I am, and really showing like that anybody can be who they want to be, but they just got to take that leap of just, you know, basically thinking outside the box, getting outside of your comfort zone, which is, you know, when you're like in a little square, maybe you're really comfortable and you're nice and cozy and feels really, you know, warm and safe, but you don't want to open that top because it's like what's out there. This was kind of like a way for myself to be like, this is what I need right now. I need to force myself to just get out of the top, just jump out of the top. And that was kind of the concept of that. And he did absolutely incredible. We were looking at some more realistic type of hair on him, and then I was seeing the kind of cartoonish hair, and it kind of looked like this old like video game Twisted Metal. It's like the clown that has the hair on the top of the car, and so it would look all like that to me. I was like, that's so cool looking. It looks really nice. It has my V or Widow's Peak, and I thought it looked super nice. And it has my, you know, I really wanted it to have makeup on, and so we got this thing, and then Court wanted to incorporate the experience he had while drawing the graphic, and so on the center of the box. So on the center of the box, he put a heart on the center of the box with these little lines going out, kind of in the aspect of like an electric volt shocking the heart again, because that's what he was going through. And it works out too, because I always have hearts. I mean, I have multiple hearts on me tattooed, and I love a heart in general. And so it's like, it's such a crazy thing for all of it to come together, and for not only like my ideas to be in it, but also something that's really important that happened to him during the same time of drawing it. It's really an amalgamation of just so much happening in such a story to me, and it feels right. You know, the graphic feels like who I am. It feels like what court is, and it feels it's really nice to me. I'm really, really excited about how it came out. I was able to have a blank background, so it's really just, very 80s style, like the McGill, where it's graphic color. We went through a couple different colors. All of them looked absolutely incredible. Billy did. I mean, he did so good. It was amazing, all the different color lineups he had, and any of them I would be happy about. And then we came to a pinkish purple color for the background, and we got all the colors right on the actual Jack in the Box. We have a blue foil around the box in the Jack in the Box's hair. I wanted a 80s style signature underneath the graphic, and so I was able to send him my signature. He placed it on the board, and the signature is also foils. So if you're planning on skating this board, it doesn't really matter if you take it out and stuff, but if you're not planning on skating, you're using for a wall hanger, be really careful taking the board out of the wrapping, because it is foil and it's really delicate, and if you want it to be like really preserved and nice, you want to take it out slowly and be really gentle with it. And if you even just get my board in general, it's beyond anything I could ever imagine. When anybody supports me, it's like, I love you guys. I mean, it's seriously, you have no idea how much I care. Please tag me in every post, every story. I want to see it. I want to see it so bad. And I really just, I wanted something to represent not just me as a person, but if you see someone else in the park with the board and what it is, and you can really tell from afar, it's kind of like, I want it to be a way for you guys to communicate and be like, hey, how's it going? And strike up a conversation, because, maybe that person is feeling alone or feeling, unwanted or something like that. No matter your skill level, your style, your personality, your sexuality, your orientation, anything, just skateboarding in general brings us all together. And I would love it if, just being able to see someone else with that board, or the idea or the concept of it, can just make a friendship possibly, and make someone feel a little bit more safe and at home. And it doesn't even have to do with me. It's not about me. It's about all of you guys. It's about the people who have the board and the people who it represents, because it represents more than anything I could ever imagine. And so I really hope that feels right to you guys to have it in that aspect. I'm really, really happy with how it all came out, and we're all the Jacks in the Box, and we got to get out of it. That's what it really comes down to. Yeah, so I'm super stoked. Coming out in April. Stoked you guys like it. Thank you guys for watching. I'm excited for you all to see the board. Later.